Hey, what's up guys? Will here for GSM Arena. Xiaomi's Redmi Note series is known for its feature-packed yet competitively priced phones. The newest model is the Redmi Note 9S, also known as the Redmi Note 9 Pro in India. How good of a deal is it this time around? Let's find out in our full review. Looks-wise, the Note 9S is quite familiar. It's made from Gorilla Glass with sleek, trendy curves and a flashy paint job. The frame is made of plastic, but besides that, the phone still feels premium. I like the frame's matte finish, which adds a bit of grip. The device's large size does make it a bit unwieldy though. One thing we like to see is some water protection on phones, and though the Note 9S doesn't have an official IP rating, there is some splash proofing for the phone's internals. And you gotta say that this Aurora blue finish is gorgeous. On the front, the Note 9S has a 6.67-inch IPS LCD display with a 1080p resolution. It's protected by Gorilla Glass 5, and for the selfie camera, there's a small punch hole cutout at the top. The cutout isn't perfect. The backlighting is uneven around it, and this is visible with light backgrounds. This is rather typical of LCDs as opposed to OLED screens. It's also a bit of a bummer that the screen's refresh rate is the standard 60Hz, while competitors like Realme are offering 90Hz for this price. Still, this screen is decent. It's large and pretty contrasty for an LCD. Black levels are deep enough, and colors can be tuned to be accurate in settings. And you have HDR10 support if you want to enjoy that kind of video content. Brightness is good at 420 nits maximum and up to 575 nits in automatic brightness in the right conditions. The minimum brightness is impressive too, just 1 nit. Since the screen is an LCD, under-display fingerprint tech won't work here. So the fingerprint reader sits on the side of the device and doubles as a power key. It's quite fast and accurate. For a similar reason, you won't find an always-on display here, but there's a white notification LED up at the top that will let you know to check your phone. For audio, the Note 9S has a single bottom-firing loudspeaker. It's loud with a score of good in our tests, and its mids sound nice, but bass is lacking. Unlike many trendy smartphones, the Note 9S has a 3.5mm jack for headphones, and we're glad. And it's also nice to see expandable storage here, on top of the 64 or 128 gigs built in. The phone's interface is Xiaomi's MIUI 11 over Android 10. It's pretty familiar, though a bit more minimalistic compared to previous versions of MIUI. Multimedia is handled by the proprietary gallery, music, and video apps. You also have FM radio support if you don't want to get your media through streaming. In some markets, the pre-installed applications by Xiaomi will show ads. On our global version, this is rare, but you can see one from time to time. One special feature is that since the Note 9S has an IR blaster, you can use the phone as a remote to control certain appliances. At the heart of the Note 9S is the Snapdragon 720G chipset. This is quite a new chip, and it provides some of the best performance you can get outside of the flagship line. Benchmark performance is excellent, only just falling short of Huawei's Kirin 810. Regular tasks feel fast and hiccup-free, and so does the gaming experience. You'll be able to game for quite a while too, or anything else you want to do, thanks to the Note 9S's huge 5000 mAh battery. The phone scored an outstanding endurance rating of 127 hours in our battery life tests, among the best we've seen lately. Xiaomi ships a 22.5-watt universal fast charger in the box, even though the phone only supports 18 watts. The battery is large enough that even this is only able to charge the phone from 0 to 37% in half an hour. Now let's talk cameras. The Redmi Note 9S has a quad camera setup on the back, which is the same as the Redmi Note 8T. There's a 48-megapixel main cam with a quad Bayer filter, an 8-megapixel ultra-wide camera, a 5-megapixel macro cam, and a 2-megapixel depth sensor. The main cam churns out photos in 12-megapixel resolution, and in daylight these come out good. There's low noise, great contrast, and mostly true-to-life colors. Dynamic range is pretty wide too. The resolve detail is just okay though, nothing impressive. There is a standalone 48-megapixel mode, but these seem to be upscaled from the 12-megapixel images and then heavily sharpened. There are no benefits in shooting this way as far as I can see. Portraits are taken with the main cam together with the depth sensor. These require a lot of light, but if you have good conditions, these come out nice. They're detailed, with decent subject separation. Since there's no telephoto cam, the 2x toggle on the viewfinder will just get you a digitally zoomed photo which lacks detail. The 8-megapixel ultra-wide cam snaps very good photos for its class. There's good detail, great contrast, and wide dynamic range. Overall, we're happy with these results. We were also pleasantly surprised by the 5-megapixel macro cam. It shoots great close-ups with nice detail and little noise. The autofocus helps to make sure they come out sharp too. Our only complaint is that the colors don't really pop. At night, the main camera shoots good photos, with an excellent amount of detail, well-controlled noise, and excellent color saturation. They are a bit dark and underexposed though. Turning on the night mode results in some lost detail, but the gains are huge. You get a brighter exposure and restored highlights, as well as more detail and shadows, and the whole process only takes a couple of seconds. In contrast, the night photos from the ultra-wide-angle camera are barely usable. They're lacking in detail, pretty dark and noisy, and there's no night mode available on this cam. Selfies are taken with a 16-megapixel front-facing cam, and these are good, with decent dynamic range, and nice colors and contrast. They aren't the sharpest around though. You can take selfie portraits, and these offer competent subject isolation, and the background blur is convincing. The Redmi Note 9S can record video in up to 4K at 30 FPS with the main camera. These 4K videos have great colors, contrast, and dynamic range, and there's almost no noise. The detail level is just average though. For some reason, you can only shoot through the ultra-wide cam in 1080p resolution. We like the quality though. These are sharp, with good colors and contrast. Electronic stabilization is available on either camera if you enable it, but only when recording in 1080p. It does a great job of smoothing things out at the expense of a small loss in the field of view. So that's the Redmi Note 9S, aka the Indian Redmi Note 9 Pro. It has a beautiful, splash-proof glass build, a large LCD screen, awesome battery life, great chipset performance, and good photo and video quality, all for around 250 euros. Just keep in mind that at this price point there are some competitors that can offer things this phone can't. If you're looking for a 90Hz display or faster charging, you could check out the Realme 6. Or if you want an AMOLED, you could take a look at the Samsung Galaxy A51. But all things considered, the Redmi Note 9S is among the best value phones you can get, and deserves a recommendation. Thanks for watching guys, stay safe and see you on the next one.